What's going on YouTube? Detroit, we're here with another video. And before I start this video, I would like everybody to go and subscribe to my friends at Tick Podcast. That's the Inner Circle Podcast. They just did an amazing, it's gonna be huge. Like the interview that they just had, they had it with Brad Warrell. He is talking about DirectX 12 and how it's going to affect all platforms, or Xbox and PC. And I could see that this interview is going to go big. Like there is going to be tons of videos on it. I'm probably going to make one later on. I'm going to re-listen to it a couple times so I can understand everything, because it is kind of technical and it's just amazing. But with that being said, please go check out that interview. Go sub to Tick Podcast, because they do a lot of great interviews. They've done interviews with Phil Spencer, other gamers, indie developers, all types of people. Go check them out. First and foremost, subscribe to them, because they do a lot of things. They do interviews, they do Twitch, and they give away games, and they do giveaways and all types of just different things, and it's really amazing. They have a great channel over there. But on to today's video. So recently okay, let me just put it like this. As you can see, I'm playing. We have Banjo-Kazooie in the background. There was a long time ago when another Banjo, or the person who made Banjo, had created an account on Twitter, and it was of a Banjo enemy, and he was like basically tweeting out things about, you know, maybe having another Banjo game. Well, since they were bought out or whatever, they basically shut that page down. They haven't used it for years, but now recently it has been reactivated, and this is interesting because he doesn't work on Banjo-Kazooie anymore. From what I've been looking at, he doesn't work on Banjo-Kazooie anymore. So a lot of people are now speculating that we may have a Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor, kind of like how Mighty Number 9 is Mega Man's spiritual successor. We may be seeing a game that's going to be more like Banjo-Kazooie from this creator. And for me, someone who loves 3D platformers, one of my favorite games is Banjo. It's very cool to see that we may get something, because Microsoft has yet to announce anything as of yet, even though I do believe that during E3 we will hear something about another Banjo. But it's nice to see that it's another game that we may get that's going to be just like Banjo, or at least kind of similar. A spiritual successor to Banjo would be amazing, especially with this long drought of 3D platformers. A lot of people seem to always talk about JRPGs as getting like the boot or whatever, but there are tons of companies out there that are still making JRPGs. Japanese developers are making it all the time. You have Square Enix, who still makes them. You see Atlas makes Persona. You have all of these guys making these JRPGs. They may not be as popular as they were back in the 90s or early 2000s, but they are still being made. But when you go on to the 3D platformer, it seems that there is almost none. There is almost dead to rights. Like they basically almost stopped. I believe it's because it's actually more difficult for them to make 3D platformers, because you have to have, like, let's just look at Grand Theft Auto as an example. I know it's not a 3D platformer, but it is an open world type game, which is a lot of 3D platformers tend to be kind of open worldish to a certain degree. Maybe not as big as GTA or anything, but they do tend to have that tendency to be kind of a big open space. And with GTA, you have to have so much to do in the game, so the players don't get bored. They don't have to find a way to balance the story with the map and all these things. And I think a lot of developers just don't want to take that time to do that for a 3D platformer, especially since 3D platformers of late have been sold as well, and it is really bad. I'm sorry for that. I apologize for that. That was my son. But yeah, they haven't sold very well. So these games being made or being at least in production right now is amazing news for us. You guys let me know how you feel about it. Do you think that we'll be getting a lot more 3D platformers in the future? Are you happy to see that we might have a spiritual successor to Banjo coming out? I mean, I'm just ecstatic, man. I'm so hyped for 3D platformers. Games like Conquer, Banjo, those were my childhood. Jak and Daxter, these games were my childhood, and I can't wait to see more of these being made. So you guys let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thank you for watching.